All right, let's work on this compounded investments. Problem one is not compounded, but it's on your 18th birthday, you deposit 10,000 in an account that collects 5% simple interest. How much money would you have at retirement 40 years later? All right. So what does simple interest mean? What does this mean? It means that you make 5% off of that 10,000. What is 5% off of 10,000? Get your calculators again. What's 5%? Well, 5% is 0.05. 0.05 times 10,000? How much is that? What's 0.05 times 10,000? How much is that? $500. So you're making $500 per year on $500 per year on $10,000 that you invested. So how much money are you making total in 40 years? How much money are you going to make in 40 years? What are we going to do? No, this is not compounded. I'm telling you that this is called simple interest. Simple interest is just that you're making that 500 per year on the 10,000 invested. So how many years are you investing it for? 40 years. So what are we going to do? 500 times 40. Then that's how much money you're going to make. So for 40 years, you will make what? You will make 40 times 500. So what's 40 times 500? 20,000. So you will make 20,000 on that investment. So this is how much you make on that investment. Is there a formula for it? Here's a formula that for me. The value of your investment would be equal to this formula. This is the principal plus this. For this particular situation where it's simple interest. So if we put it into this formula, the value of your investment for 40 years will equal to, P stands for your principal amount. What is principal amount? 10,000, whatever you deposit first, 10,000, that's your money, plus 10,000 times the interest rate. What's the interest rate? 0.0. Well, the interest rate is 5%, which is 0.05. Times that by what? T is 40, isn't it? 40 years. So this is what I just did before, but I thought we just did it in a different way. But this is the formula for simple interest, where this is your money. This is not. This is your money, and this is the how much you're making off of your investment, which is gonna be 20,000. So this is 20,000. plus the 10,000 that was yours. So at the end of 40 years, after you give them or you put in, at the end of 40 years, after you put in 10,000, you will receive back 30,000. Your 10,000 plus the 20,000 of interest. That would not be a good investment at all. Now, so how does compounded investments work? Let's watch the video then. Let me put the video on. Watch the video on how it works, which is different than this. Let's see. Oh no.
Want to know how I took my business to the next level? It's simple. It's Shopify. Shopify.
Compound interest is the interest an investor earns on his original investment, plus all the interest earned on the interest that has accumulated over time. It is easier to think of compound interest as interest on interest. To understand compound interest, let's first look at simple interest, the interest earned on the original principal only. Suppose you deposit $10,000 into a high-interest savings account at a 5% simple interest rate for 3 years. The interest you earn each year is 5% times $10,000, which equals $500, for a total of $1,500 of interest at the end of year 3. $500 plus $500 plus $500. Now instead, suppose that you deposit the same $10,000 at 5% interest compounded annually. In year 1, the interest you earn is the same, $500. But in year 2, the interest you earn is 5% times $10,500, the original amount plus the interest you earned in year 1. So the second year's interest is $525. In year 3, you earn 5% interest on $11,025. $10,000 plus $500, year 1 interest, plus $525, year 2 interest, or an interest payment of $551.25. In total, you earn $1,576.25 in interest over 3 years with compounding interest versus $1,500 with simple interest, a difference of $76.25. The effect of compounding becomes especially powerful over longer time periods as the amount of earned interest becomes larger and larger.
All right. So there's that. Okay, let's go back and let's do it for this. No. All right, so let's do it for what they said here. Let's do slide 3. Let's compound annually this 10,000. And let's do it not for 3 years, let's do it for 40 years. How much money would you, what the video said was that in the long run, the longer you keep it in there in a compounded interest, compounded annually, it would make way more money in the long run than in the short run. Let's see how much money would we have here in this one. So compounded investments is it's an exponential investment. It is an exponential function. So anytime it says compounded, you're automatically going to write down y equals a times b to the power of x. All right, so now this y would change to the value of your investment. Let's go with v of t. So the value of your investment will equal to a. What does a represent? 10,000 your initial investment. And of course, you want to make money on your investment. You don't want it to go down. That would be even dumber. So you want it to go up, no? So definitely, it's going to be 100%. You're going to keep your initial investment, but you're going to make how much money? What's the interest rate that they're going to give you? 5%. 5%. Let's go ahead and put 5% here. 5% here to the power of compounded annually to the power of t. So that is the formula for compounded annually. So the value of your investment, the value of the investment equals 10,000. What's 100% plus 5%? 105%. And what is 105% as a decimal? 1.05 to the power of t. So there's the formula. Now let's do it for 40 years. All right, let's go ahead and get your calculators. If you didn't get a calculator, come on, get one. So we are going to plug this into a calculator first, and then multiply it by 10,000, and let's see how much money do you have at the end of 40 years. $1.05 upon 40 times 10,000. How much is your investment value at the end of 40 years? 70,399, which is 400. So, would you rather have at the end of 40 years? Would you rather have 70,000 or would you rather have 30,000? 70,000 sounds good, no? Yeah. So now, see what happened here was what exactly the video said is that at the end of 1 year, you got your interest and you took it back and you're like, and then you gave it back to them. You're like, you know what? I want to invest this 10,500. Invest it, and then you get it back, and you said, okay, give it back to me again at the end of the second year, and you're making money on the interest on top and plus what you invested. That's what is happening. What if we compound it? Let's go. What if we compound it monthly? Compounded monthly. What does that mean? Compounded monthly. What it means is that, look, what happens is this. So you give them 10,000, and at the end of the first month, so this is like the first month, you're like, whatever little money of interest I'm making on it, give it back to me. And then I'm going to give it back to you. So whatever you're making, you're like, whatever money you made on the interest, you get your 10,000 plus the interest, you get it back, and then you give it back to them. So you're trying to make more money now, all right? How much more money are you making? So let's do it. How do we figure this out? All right, so let's go. So it's going to be the value of t for compounded monthly. It's still going to be deposit 10,000. Look, 100%, let me change this already. 100% is the same 100 divided by 100. What's 100 divided by 100? 1. So I'm gonna, instead of just putting 100%, I'm going to just put 1. Plus, the 5% interest is 0.05. Divided by how many months are there in a year? 12 months. So you divide it by how many times are you gonna, that 5% is gonna be divided by how many months there are in a year. And then that number at the bottom goes at the top next to the T. There's the formula again. This is the formula for compounded monthly. So then this is gonna be the value of T is gonna equal to 10,000. All right, go ahead and do this. Put in the calculator 0.05 divided by 12, add it to 1. What is that number? What is 0.05 divided by 12? Add to 1. Okay, so I'm getting this. I'm getting 1.0416. I mean, you want to keep all the numbers. If you're that greedy, you probably want to keep all the numbers. So let's go 12 T. All right. It goes forever. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, go forever. All right. So now let's go ahead and do V of 40. Okay, so it'll be 10,000. 1.00416 on forever. And what is 12 times 40? 12 times, no. 12, yeah, it is 12 times 40. T is 40. So what's 12 times 40? Let's see, 12 times 40. What is 12 times 40? 480. So this is going to be 480. So this is 480. Okay. So now, this is what we're going to do again. You're going to input this in a calculator. You could go ahead and do 1.0041666 as many times as you want. Up on 1.0041666 up on 480 times 10,000. How much money do you have? What's the value of this investment? 73,584. 584. So you are making another 3,000, at least 3,000. Huh? What? 583, but you then round it up. 73,583. So that 9 makes it, the 3 go up to 84. All right. So the difference between simple and compounded is, the difference is 50,000 or no, like 40,000, no? So, but the difference between annually and monthly is like $3,000. All right. Let's say that you are so greedy. You're like, just want to make money, more money. I don't care, like another penny. All right. So you're like, why don't we compound it? You want to do daily? Yes? What happens daily is you give them the money and you want it back the next day. And so you make this little bit of money on the interest and you want it back and then you give it back to them again. So let's do it daily. Compound it daily. All right, what's the formula for compounded daily? All right, let's do it. So, V of T. So what's the initial investment? What's the principal amount? 10,000? One plus, what's the interest rate? Let's keep it at 0.05. How many days are there in a year? 365. You're going to divide that 0.05 by 365. That bottom number goes to the top, and then we times that by T. There's the formula for this one now. So the value of t, V of t is equal to 10,000. Let's get a number for this again. What's 0.05 divided by 365? Added to 1. So it's going to give you this number 1.001369. Can we just save this? Hold on here. You know what's the best way to do this so you can get a perfect answer? Let's do it like this. Let's not even get this number. Let's not even do this. Let's get this number. Let's get this number better. Let's get this number. So let's go ahead and do this. V of t, 10,000. Leave this alone. And we're going to change this t to what? 40. Let's already do that. V of 40. So this is going to be V of 40. And you know that this is going to be 40. What's 40 times 365? That's what we want to get. 365 times 40. What is that? 365 times 40. 14,600. So this is 14,600. And now to get an exact answer, well, what we're going to do is this. Hey, if you want to know how to put this in a calculator, listen right now. This is how you're going to put this in a calculator. You're going to put this first. You're going to do 0.05 divided by this, add it to 1, and then do it up on 14,600. All right, let's go. 0.05 divided by 365, add it to 1, up on 14,600, and then times it by 10,000. So what's the value of this investment now? What's the value of this investment? What?
How did you put it in the calculator?
That said, look, that's why I want to have this exact. That's why I didn't want to do it like that, because I want it to be more exact. So you do this divided by this, get an answer, add it to this, get an answer, and then do the up on to that, to this 14,600, and then times it by this. $73,880. That's what I'm getting. Huh? Yes? So, how much more money than monthly is it? Is it that much more money? How much more money? What, about $200? What is it? Or $300? Yes? Would you rather have a little extra here? Okay, now you are what do you say if can you instantly give the money and give them the money and get it back? Can you do it every minute? Can you say hey, you know what, I'll let you borrow money, I'll let you borrow it for a minute and give it back to me, I'll give it back to you. We could do it every minute, but how much money would you make on that? Let's do it instantaneously. Last one. Let's do it continuously compounded. What would be continuously compounded? Continuously. That's the limit. That's like the most greedy person ever. He's like, hey, I want to make money continuously on my interest. Well, this one has a special formula. It is not this one, it is this. It is A, the amount of money you're going to get will equal to PERT. It has its own formula. So the amount of money you will get at the end of 40 years will equal to, P stands for the principal amount. So what do I put down for that? 10,000. E is just a number here. It's 2.71. It's a number I'll show you in a minute. E. R stands for the interest rate. Where in this one, I was interest rate, which it says right there. But I is also R for rate. So what do I plug in for R? 5% is what? 0.05. 0.05. And then times about 40. All right, so what is 0.05 times 40? Let's just do that. 0.05 times 40. That's going to be what? It's 2, isn't it? All right, so this is what we're going to do. Go ahead and do E squared. Where is E? Do you guys see where E is at? Okay, the third button down, you see ln? It is not ln, it's the under ln, it's E. So you're going to have to hit second ln. Everybody see that? Yes? And then we're going to punch in 2, enter it, times it by 10,000. What are you getting? What's the amount of money after 40 years? 73,890. Let's give you, round it up, $891. Okay, so what's the difference between compounded daily and compounded continuously? Well, how much is the difference? Is that about $11? You know what? There's not much of a difference. This is the maximum you will get. And that is it for today. That's the lesson. Huh? So this 0.05 times about 40, get that number is 2. And then to find E, you're going to go to this ln button, the third button down right here. ln, but it's not ln, it's the second ln. That's going to give you that E. E to the second power, get an answer times it by 10,000.